Hi everyone. In this session we shall study about user datagram protocol, which is a topic in module 6 of CS 306 computer networks. So in this lecture we shall see in detail about what is UDP, and the applications of UDP include remote procedure call and a real-time transfer protocol along with UDP. So first is about an introduction of UDP. So already in module 6, the first topic we have studied about transmission control protocol, which is a connection oriented protocol. But this UDP is a connectionless and it is also an unreliable protocol, because we won't receive any acknowledgement for the communication that has been initiated, and it is used for establishing process to process communication. But here in UDP it does not have any flow control or acknowledgements for the communication that has been initiated, but it provides a small support for error control mechanisms. Coming to the purpose, the need for UDP is, so UDP is a lightweight protocol, so it doesn't need any procedure or formality for connection establishment. We can directly send messages, which reduces the delay caused in TCP. And here no allocation of buffers or parameters or sequence number, nothing is necessary to handle the packet sent through UDP, but only a small processing overhead is required for the communications that has been done through this datagram, because the size of the UDP header is only 8 bytes. So processing overhead is very minimum. Next is about the UDP datagram. The packets that are sent with the help of this UDP protocols are called as datagrams. So totally the size of the datagram can be from 8 byte to 65,535 bytes, that is 2 power 16. The value of 2 power 16 is 65,535 bytes. The size of the UDP header is 8 bytes. Remaining it contains source port number, destination port number, which uniquely identifies the source process as well as the destination process, along with a total length. Total length specifies the total size of the datagram along with the header, and a checksum value, it is a 16-bit checksum field used for detecting error that occurs in the packet. So these are the details about the UDP header format. UDP destination port, source port, message length as well as the checksum. Moving to the key features of UDP, it is a connectionless service protocol, and each packets that are sent is independent of the preceding or succeeding packets. We are not having any unique sequence number for the packets that is transmitted, and we don't have any connection establishment or connection termination procedure, and the size of the packets that are sent with the help of this UDP protocols are very small in size compared to that of TCP, and no separate flow control or congestion control mechanism there, but it has a small extent for error control mechanism, that is through checksum. And here once the data is sent as datagram with the help of UDP, so we are not receiving any acknowledgement, so we call this as a best effort service, and message lost or duplication cannot be easily identified in UDP services. Next is about the application of UDP, that is remote procedure call. The purpose of the remote procedure call is to establish a connectivity between the client process or a source side process with a remote process to perform a particular service. Now here RPC, that is remote procedure call, is a protocol that one program or process can request a service from a remote program or process that is running in another computer in some other network without understanding the network detail. So the different steps that is followed for establishing this remote procedure call is the client side process sent a request and the request is sent to the client stub. The client stub is a piece of code which converts the requirements into a message. In the third step, the message is received by a RPC routine that is held by the operating system, and through this it is received in the receiver side. And in the receiver side, the information will be received by the server stub. Server stub unpack the message. This process is called as unmarshalling. Their client stub packed the message, so that process is called marshalling. Here server stub unpacked the message, that is called as unmarshalling, and it's sent to the server process or the remote process. So remote process the message that has been received and sends a reply. So the reply message will be sent through the same path in the reverse direction. So thus a client or a process can receive a request or a service from a remote process. Next is real-time transport protocol. The real-time transport protocol is a data transfer protocol designed to exchange real-time data over IP-based network. So it is also an end-to-end delivery service. It is performed with the help of UDP protocol. It is mainly used in internet telephone applications. It can carry real-time data, which may be an audio, video or other multimedia data with the help of the UDP network, and the data is sent in the form of streams through real-time transport packets. So this is a structure of RTP header. RTP header consists of different fields, and we will see detail about the different fields specified in the header. First is the 2-bit version field, which specifies the version of the RTP protocol, and P bit indicates whether the packet has been padded to a multiple of 4 byte. Then X represents whether extension of the header is permitted or not, and CC specifies contributing message, whether contributing sources are present in the message or not, that is specified in CCP. And M specifies the marker bit, which specifies the unique start bit field, that is start field indicating the start of the RTP packet. Then payload type represents the encoding algorithm that is used for compressing the message or encoding the message, and along with the type of the message. And sequence number specifies the sequence number, that unique number for the packet that has been represented. It is used to detect whether any packet has been lost or not. So then next is the timestamp value. Timestamp value specifies when the first sample in the packet was made. Then synchronization sequence identifier. This sequence identifier tells which stream the packet belongs to. When multiple streams of message are sent, it can identify uniquely to which stream this particular packet belongs to. And contributing source identifiers are used when mixers are present in the studio of the studio, and here it permit maximum 0 to 15 mixers, and each can be of size, identifiers can be of size 32 bits. So this is about the different fields that is present in the RTP header. Next is about the applications of UDP. So mainly it is used in a remote procedure call, and it is also support for DNS applications. That is, when you want to send short message for receiving a request reply. So this UDP protocol is used because a quick response can be received in DNS query, response message, and the other type of DNS services. We use this UDP type of message, that is datagram messages, with the support of UDP protocol. Then video streaming. In video streaming we use UDP, that is along with the real-time protocol. UDP is used for transmitting this real-time data, that is audio, video streams, etc. So the receiving UDP can ignore the corrupted or lost packet, and this offers a best effort service, and we can perform the service very quickly, and we expect a efficient delivery with the help of UDP. So UDP applications include remote procedure call, DNS application use UDP for communication of request response messages, then video streaming, live video streaming or real time data uses UDP protocol for transferring the data. So these are the UDP applications. So this tells about some of the well-known ports that is used in UDP. Echo port, that is port along with the port number. Echo, discard, then users, daytime, quote, chargen, domain, boards, then TFIP, RPC, NTP, SNMP. So along a protocol along with its own ports is specified, and this is commonly used in moving the datagram for the corresponding purposes. Next is about the comparison of TCP and UDP. So already in the previous lecture we have studied about TCP. So in this we have studied a UDP. The difference between TCP and UDP is TCP is a connection oriented protocol, UDP is a connectionless protocol, and TCP the data is transmitted as bytes. Here we call that the messages as message stream. And TCP does not support for multicasting or broadcasting. UDP supports broadcasting, and TCP have a detailed error control, flow control mechanism, but UDP doesn't have any flow control mechanism, but a small extent about error control with the help of the checksum. And UDP supports full duplex communication, but TCP supports full duplex communication, UDP doesn't support full duplex communication. TCP provides a reliable service, UDP provides unreliable service, and TCP packets are called the segments, UDP packets are called as datagram. These are the difference between TCP and UDP. So in this lecture we have studied about what is UDP, what are the applications of UDP, that is remote procedure call and real-time transport protocol, along with the applications of other applications of UDP, and a comparison about the UDP and TCP protocol. That's all. Thank you.